All warfare is based on deception. Sun Tzu. If your enemy is superior, evade him. If angry, irritate him. If equally matched, fight. And if not, split and reevaluate.
Yeah, he's learning, huh? But he's learning.
Been reading that book you told me about. You know, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I mean, here's this guy, a Chinese general, wrote this thing 2,400 years ago. And most of it still applies today. Balk the enemy's power, force him to reveal himself.
I have to ask, are you in any sort of danger?
No. Can I go on? You know, most of the guys that I know, they read Prince Machiavelli. And I had Carmela go and get the Cliff Notes once, and he's okay. But this book is much better about strategy.
I'm Dutch Doll. I'm the host of Dutch Doll Discussions, and today we're here to talk about the voices in my head. Frankly, folks, lately, those voices are stymied. I mean, they're stymied hard. Even Tony gets it. Sun Tzu, required reading, well, at a military college. The Art of War. Never engage the enemy on their ground of choosing. Always wait for your ground of choosing to engage your enemy. It makes total sense. Charlie Sheen's got the gist of it down in the movie Wall Street. Great movie. Not really what Sun Tzu was saying, but I got it. You'll get it too. Now, the New York City Police Department, we have the advantage. The city is our ground. It's the ground of our choosing. And everybody else committing crimes out there, you're playing in our backyard. And this is how we go about doing it. Folks, stay tuned. Stay to the end and catch the Easter egg.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
Yes, Lieutenant Ripley, I believe they have. People think we're just going to give the city up. We're not. We're always going to be. No words could have been spoken truer by a police commissioner, as the last one said at the funeral for Detective First Grade Rivera, that we are not going to give up the city. We are not going to hand this city over to you. It's incarnate with our job to get hurt. For some of us to get hurt. What we need to do is police smarter. And maybe a little harder. Maybe when in the movie Skyfall, when Daniel Craig is, James Bond himself, is talking to the caretaker of the grounds, and the caretaker says, sometimes the old ways are the best ways. He may not be wrong. Don't have to reinvent the wheel, do we? We don't. But I'm getting a little tired every time I turn around. A cop is shot or hurt doing his job because changes have been made to the patrol guide. And if that change wasn't made, that cop may still be alive or may not have been hurt. The ultimate goal here is to place the perp into custody without anybody getting injured without further incident. But lately, put your hands behind your back translates, it's off to the races, folks.
Their own for one of you.
Not to go after criminals because they might try to harm you is really not a policy of the FBI. See, we try not to say uncle. We try.
Let me put it.
Nor is it a policy of the New York City Police Department. We're not going to give up. We get paid every day. Most of us took the job for the right reason. It was a calling. It wasn't just a paycheck for us. And I'm going to go back to Sun Tzu for right now. There is no instance of a country having benefited from a prolonged war. No. Because all you're doing is destroying a country's interior. And it has to be repaired later on. The drug wars of the 80s, the innocent civilians getting shot and killed, lit the fuse of the NYPD to go out and take the job to the next level. All that's happening now is that fuse is relit. There is somebody behind us who's willing to pick up that sword and charge on. Sorry guys, we got better health benefits than you do. We have paid retirement, unlimited sick. You can kind of raise a family on what we get paid. So, it's appealing for people to take the job. As long as people take the job for the right reasons, and they do their job, what more can you ask for? When I got on the job, back in 1998, my first training sergeant said to me, collars. Give me 5 years of study collars and take the rest of your career off. No. Sorry. Became a cop to do right, do my job, arrest bad people. So I went for 21 years making collars. You know what? I like the chase. You hear me say it all the time. I did an extended time in the street than I should have. I stood on patrol longer than I should have. I liked answering radio runs. I had the guy I worked in the car with. I loved to be with him. Don't take this the wrong way. We worked well together. We worked well together in gang. I missed it for the short time it was an auto crime, but auto crime was not my forte. But I enjoyed what I did. I spent a lot of time in the street, almost all 21 years, with the exception of auto crime and even auto crime was in the street a lot. And the short stint I did in the shit team, shooting homicide investigation team, if it rained, I was out. If it snowed, I was out. If houses were being ripped from foundations, we went out because all we knew was patrol. And there were plenty of assholes to get. There were plenty of assholes to get out there. So any day you could just look at the wanted sheets, pick your next target you're going to work on, you were off to the races. The bosses didn't care as long as you were out there doing police work. I kind of like police work. Made a living off of it. I was good at it. But being retired now, everybody sees it. I'm struggling in civilian life, but I'm willing to change. I'm willing to persevere. I'm willing to evolve. I'm not liking it, but I'm willing to do it.
Oh no.
Car stops on foot. The poor female cop found out what happens, why we don't do them on foot. Guess there was a senior guy there to take her out in the field and show her how to police properly. None of that would have ever happened. You know what would have stopped that from happening? A lot of people are going to not agree with this. A lot of people might agree with it. A lot of people are like, oh my God, what kind of cop was he? The diameter of our service weapons is 9mm. The hole is not very big. Not very big at all. But you get the driver, he's trying to put the car into drive. And you reach over and you rock your service weapon forward. And you pull your service weapon. And you take that little 9mm hole and use the threat of deadly physical force. The threat of it. Notice I'm saying, I'm going to underline this word here. The threat. You put it right in his face. And like, if you put this car in drive, I'm going to put one in your head. You think that driver would think twice, maybe 3 or 4 times about taking off in that car? Dragging that poor female rookie under the car? Having the car pass over both her legs and her being able to get up and limp away? And then the male partner comes running over. I don't know where the fuck he was. And then he does exactly what I say. I mean, I only get a clip of that from a phone, from off the internet. I don't. That's New York. That looks like the Bronx to me. But everything in the Boogie Down goes sideways really fucking fast. Back to Sun Tzu. It is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitable way of carrying it out. Profitable way of carrying it out. Yeah, Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Think about that for a second. Only one who is fluent in this can profit off of this. I read this book 10, 15 years ago. Well, no, that's longer than that. I read this book almost 30 years ago. It just goes without saying. I mean, any fights, and it plays to YouTube. Any inner fights on YouTube are not going anywhere. We're just rehashing the same material over and over and over again. That's why I pulled back. I started doing panels to get my name out there and just talk with people. We started doing panels on the channel more to give people a reason to laugh. That's it. The shit we're talking about has nothing to do with anybody. And when something comes up, I shut it down. I shut down a panel the other day to just be done with it. But apparently, my efforts are not being seen. I had people come apologize for going off of the panel and sorry they had to take it down. And by the way, folks, I don't take my panels down. They're copyright blocked. I play music at the beginning of the panel, and that's what happens. So, it's my own thing. Sorry, I come up short sometimes. That time I came up short. Well, the last couple panels I came up short. If the music's copyrighted 9 times out of 10, YouTube will take it down. Let's go back to popular policing. We are behind the 8 ball now. 7 cops, 3 weeks, 2 of them DOA. Tell me what you want to tell me, but that mother knew those guns were in the house. And the situation wasn't explained clearly enough on the 911 call. It wasn't. We all heard the call. I heard the radio runs the night it happened. Gut-wrenching. In tears. I was in total shock and awe of what my department has turned into. That these cops are yelling for help like that. Now I got family still on the job. My brother, who's a cop at another agency, sent it to me, and he's like, it's a tough listen. You know what? It is. It is. And some idiot will post it on YouTube, but I have not. I have them, but I will not post it on YouTube. And when they do, and it's out there, and it's been out there for a while, I may use it as a training aid, but still. Know your limitations, where you are, and what you're doing. Situational awareness is paramount in every situation you get into. Any radio run, or even sitting there talking to your boss. Something you should be aware of at all times.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Yeah, I know. I used the Harry Callahan limitations things way too many times. But listen, it fills the gap. It's a transition, so department needs to know its limitations. And it needs to know what the manpower can handle. Now, I missed the point when I was talking about the diameter of the 9mm pistol we use. It's a small hole. It is. But when you have that weapon posted in somebody's face, give them a lawful order, it's not 9mm anymore. To that guy looking at that gun, that's the fucking Holland Tunnel. Because he knows it's coming. Okay. Now, in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger. That there may be advantages from defeating the enemy. They must have their rewards. Another quote from Sun Tzu. You think Sun Tzu's going to copyright me? Oh my, I hope not. That'd be one hell of a fucking trick from a grave, him copywriting me. Now, even though this might be required reading at a military college, should also be dumbed down and become required reading at the police academy. Even though most of our leaders, I don't even know what to call these people anymore, are up there on a podium feeding the rank and file and the Force of Blue the same line they're feeding everybody else. They are...
Hey man, you've been eating retard sandwiches again.
I know. Another clip I use entirely too much. But I find it relevant to a lot of shit we hear from City Hall and One Police Plaza. It's just one of those things. Somebody should have told me I had hot chocolate on my lip. Yeah, I had a hot chocolate. A regular hot chocolate, not adult hot chocolate. The captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. This is called using the conquer foe to argument one's own strength. In war, then let your great objective be victory, not a lengthy campaign. For some of us, the infighting on YouTube has been going on for 5 or 6 months. And people are looking just to stop it. There's no hidden general, there's no hidden army, nobody's going after anybody, at least from what I'm very limited to what I see. There's no work going on behind the scenes or whatnot. Some bitching, some moaning, nobody's asking anybody to do anything, nobody's paying anybody, there's no mercenaries involved, no bounties on anybody's heads. But I digress. Let's go back to policing. Let's go back to the city council under Mayor de Blasio effectively castrating the New York City Police Department. Are shootings down? No. Shootings are up. Where's the homicide rate? Way up there. Let's start with graffiti, broken windows, and stolen and stripped cars in the neighborhoods. It's not like I'm describing New York in the 80s, during the crack epidemic. By the way, folks, crack epidemic raged from from 83 to 96. Yeah, 96. And the tail end was up to 98, 99. That's when it really came to an end, because I was still picking up crack in the streets as a cop, rookie cop in uniform. Grabbing guys jumping the turnstile, grabbing guys doing robberies on a train, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. The lush workers. So, yeah. I know what the tail end was. I was there. Unless you were there, working narco, or you were in a patrol car, responding to jobs where lady was calling you for robbery and you roll 84 there, which means you got there, and you're like, all right, Central, check and advise, we're 84. And she goes, I gave him $20, he didn't get my crack cocaine. What? He robbed me of $20 because you didn't give you crack cocaine. Lady, you called me here for this shit? This shit. Okay. Get out of here with this fucking bullshit. That's my famous line. Said it a billion times. Nobody ever got me right. It's always told me to go fuck myself. Then I was walking out after an argument. We're not going to arrest the guy. It's just too much. It's going to be a fucking McGilla. It's going to be a caper. Fuck you. Just think of this. By the way, before anybody passes judgment, my face is red because the shades are closed. I haven't taken my medication today for my blood pressure. I don't take it for anything else. I'm not mental. Yeah. And even if I was mental, it's none of your business. What I do in my personal life, I don't do drugs. Never done drugs. Somebody said in another stream I was a square because I didn't let them talk about drugs. You want to talk about narcotics bust and you were on the job? Let's go. You want to talk about how you were reformed druggie? I'm listen, I believe in rehabilitation. I do. I believe in rehab. I believe in the 13 steps. I believe in the whole. I believe in Bill W. and the whole 9 yards. You want to make yourself a better person? There is everything out there to make you a better person, except money, because you got to earn money. My job was to chase assholes down. Thank God I wasn't a druggie or an alcoholic. Do I have a drink now and then? Yeah, fuck yeah, I like to have a good time. Do I like to go to the bar? Do I like to go to the cop bar near my house? Yeah. Yes, I do. But I earned that right. I did my time. I'm not on benefits. I'm not on disability with some hokey, not real. I went out there, I did my time. Like 99% of the American population. When I was going to the police academy, an instructor had on his bumper sticker saying, "Work harder, millions of people on welfare depend on you." And that bothered me for a very long time. It did. I felt like I was being taken advantage of. I did. And so does a lot of other people. I mean, I went out, I made a living, I did the best I possibly could. You may not agree with what I did for a living or how I did my job, but nobody ever got killed working with me. I don't think I'm going to get banged up, a little bruised, a little scraped, tore meniscus. These are things that happened. I wound up taking the brunt. Pushed through a plate glass window, hurt umpteen thousand times in the job. Yeah. But I always said it was a contact sport. And that's what New York City needs now. Some contact policing. Not hug-a-thug. No hug-a-thugs. Maybe through the art of war. And maybe through some simple dialogue. Or maybe just two factions ignoring each other. Peace can come about. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm trying to get across. Unless you catch me with a smoking gun in my hand, with real proof I did it. Come on. Prima facie. It's the state's burden to prove somebody is guilty, not for the person to prove they're innocent. That's what this country's founded on. That's what our criminal justice system is founded on. You may not realize you're getting a criminal justice degree. You may know a guy who's dirty. And you may know what happened. But what can you prove? That's what it comes down to. Folks, I'm Dutch Doyle. I know this panel was a little this show was a little monotone. I wanted to take it down a couple notches. I'm going through a period of my life right now that I'm just bouncing along. Everybody hits these things. If I push through hard enough, I'll be fine. What do they say? Fake it until you make it. Well, folks, I always live by the motto in police work: if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bull. Not lie, because there's no lying anymore. There is damage control and even some spin control to a point. I'm Dutch Doyle. These are my discussions. Folks, I want you to enjoy your day. I truly mean that. Keep your head down. Don't let them take your life. Later.
But let me tell you something, folks. You can't fix stupid.